Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormy B Man, and I am back. Welcoming you to a special edition of the Friday Night Chop Session. Stormy B Man for this Saturday, December 27th, 2025. This is my special end of the year awards show for 2025 and episode number 210 in the Chop Session series. I had a moment to think about talking about the awards for the year, and as we close out 2025, I thought that I'd just go ahead and do the show. Initially, I could have did it yesterday, but there were other things I wanted to talk about and kind of let my thoughts marinate a bit more on the bouts. And of course, we had the fights from Japan early this morning in the wee hours, and we got a chance to see whether or not that would make an impact on what was going on with my year's end show. But it turned out to not be much of a high-stakes situation. And just as I got ready to go live, I found out that my Rumble account is disconnected from the regular YouTube. Something that happened, a little glitch I had to deal with yesterday. So I didn't have enough time to fix it before airing, which is why we're only streaming on YouTube today or tonight. But we'll have that up and running and resolved before my next stream. So I apologize for that inconvenience, because I have been asking people to follow me over there on Rumble. And sure enough, it gives me some kind of glitches where that's not working okay. But, it is what it is. We look to iron out any kinks and bugs within the program of what we do. But again, the year-end show, the awards show, as you can see, I got my annual awards trophy up there for the year-end. And we're going to talk about that a little bit this evening. And I might even open up the phone lines so that people could call in and give their thoughts and take. Because just because my selection is what it is doesn't mean that you all have to see it Stormy B Man's way. There were so many knockouts this year. To sort through what was a knockout of the year was a little bit of a tedious task. But I did consider what some people may not, and that is, it doesn't have to be your favorite fighters or the fight that you was most looking forward to, or where there were primary names involved. Sometimes it's a fight that you least expect. You're watching, it could be an undercard fight, it could be a prelim fight. And you can get that type of result that'll make you sit up in your chair and go, whoa! You know what I'm saying? ProBox TV has delivered to no end on their channel this year with the bouts that they've put on. And I'm telling you, if you haven't been tuning in to ProBox TV, you should. Because they have taken the place of Tuesday Night Fights. For those of us who are old enough to remember Tuesday Night Fights, a show which was weekly that brought boxing into the households on USA television network with Albert and Sean McGrady. These two guys for over a decade brought us some fights that were not only memorable, but sometimes they had circumstances that was just must-see TV. Like the time when there was a knockout with under 10 seconds. The bell rang, the fighter walked to the center of the ring, a punch was landed, and the fight was over. It was like that kind of stuff with Tuesday night fights, man. Or the famous brawl between Riddick Bowe and Elijah Tillery, which was initiated at the end of the first round with Elijah Tillery and Riddick Bowe, who had no love between them because they had sparred together in the gyms and just didn't like one another. Tillery decided to kick Riddick Bowe at the end of the round, and the Tuesday night fight staff had gone to a TV commercial. So when they came back from commercial break, the fight was over. It was a disqualification. And then they showed us everything that we didn't see during the TV break. And that was one for the record books. So, I mean, listen, boxing, as Larry Merchant had passed on many years ago, said that it's the theater of the unexpected, man. You could always see something. And even though it could come across as fresh and new, sometimes it's just not. It's something familiar. But this is one of the reasons to love the sport, man. It truly is. So this is what we're doing this evening, and hope to, have a little laugh and enjoy the show. It's what it's all about for boxing, huh? We're going to do a quick roll call, see who we got in the building. Let's see. We got Universal Truth out there early. Appreciate you. Dale Riv is in the building as well. Coach Hudson is out there saluting. What's good with you, Coach? Mr. Shelton is back with us. Bean Pie, my brother. And everybody is saluting one another at this moment. Yeah, just come on in. Hit that like button. Get a chance as we get ready to cover our beloved sport, man. This is the Year in Review Awards show. So, I think this is my third year doing this. This evening, I won't have the women as a part of this. Maybe I'll save that for another broadcast or just beyond the first of the year, because there's some more fights regarding the women that I need to look into, so there's not a serious omission of what's to be considered, because I do like to try to pay attention and not just deal with what I haven't seen, So yeah, I hope everybody's had a great Saturday. The weather was a little bit, above regular temperatures here in the Chi. We had temperatures in the 40s today, and that's kind of weird, but it is what it is. I'm not complaining because, when it starts snowing and everything, Stormy got to get out there and do snow removal and all of that, and it can become taxing. So, yeah, man. So, yeah. Look at Mr. Shelton. It's 72 here. Ain't nobody ask you what the temperature is out there, man. Huh? I know you out there all barefooted and everything, got fungus and everything all around your toenails, but you come in here and you gotta boast about, how warm the temperatures are out there where you are, huh? You done made the odometer go up simply because, you got your shoes off, huh? You done made the whole state warm, taking your shoes off, Mr. Shelton. Shave that husk off your heels, huh? So people don't say, sir, please remove your shoes when you come inside, huh? Yeah. Yeah. I can hear the mic chopping, man. I don't need no commentary. Huh? I ain't asked you for that. I said shave your heels. Huh? This is YouTube. It ain't me. Huh? Because my box says that everything is good, clear, excellent. So it's them messing with me, man. You know I'm a rebel. This is what it is. But how many times have I asked y'all to share my content, huh, to your other social media accounts, including, you know, your burner accounts and everything? But y'all don't do it. You know, you ain't got nothing to shave them with. Well, try a machete, huh? Try a machete. Those usually work pretty darn good, huh? You ever see Roots? And Kunta Kinte? What happened to him? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Messing around with me. We're gonna play that music for you, Mr. Shelton, that thing. You can start running through the woods. Mac of the South, what's good with you? That's right, hit the like button. Don't forget to share. Yeah, they be messing with my streams now, man. It's like this choppiness. I done dropped the bit rates and everything about as low as I can get them. You know, and they still messing with me. That's just them messing with me. Adrian Vitt, what's happening with you? Yeah, that's what it is, Mr. Shelton, to be perfectly honest. That dude, whoever he is, he's sitting back in the cut and he doing certain things. Sitting back there, because I noticed that they changed something to the studios too, because it's a different setup and everything for when you go live. It's a little bit different configuration. And ever since they did that, which has been now almost a week, yeah, I get this choppiness in my audio and stuff. So I drop my bit rate down as low as I can, and it clears up for a little bit, and then it'll start acting up again. So it's not my bit rate, you know what I'm saying? But it's them on that end. See, when they do things like that to us, let's before we get into the show, let me explain something. That's to discourage your audience. That's to say, oh, well, people ain't gonna hang around, so they're oh, I'm out. Stormy's stream is choppy. I'm not gonna listen to them. And so they're hoping that you do that, huh? Because then their next step is to say, well, you know, you don't have a viable audience, so we might have to, you know, take your channel down because, you know, it's somebody, you know, this is what they do, man. It's what they do. And you're right, it is diabolical. Because this is all done from a different side. How can my algorithms tell me that everything is excellent, but then you're hearing my audio come out? My mic is good. I don't have a short in my cord or any of that. Because you hear it get straightened out for a moment, Then it'll go back to being choppy a little bit. Then it'll straighten out again, just like it's smooth right now. I've been on for almost, what does it say here? I've been on for 26 minutes. And it's gotten choppy twice and straightened out twice. This is what they do to us, man. But you could go to those channels where they're calling people out of their name and they're putting people to shame and all of that other foolishness. Monkey-ish, as the brother Drew Titan would say. And everything is good. Clear as water. Huh? Yeah. So that's what they hope, you guys, that you'll leave. Huh? That gives them more excuses not to put me through the algorithm. But if you're here, you're hitting my like button, you're engaging in my chat, you're sending messages, you're sending donations and all of that, that's the thing that they can't stop because you're being proactive. But for those who are just sitting there looking and don't want to hit the like button or whatever, and may leave and then come back later and all of that stuff, the fair weather folks, they depend on you now because they do not operate according to the way that they're supposed to. And I'm not the only channel that does it, that they do it to. And there are other channels that are not even LDBC that they do it to. All of us collectively have had conversations and shared information back and forth. They want to present a certain type of engagement for social media. And a lot of it has to do with ignorance and low-browed focus or lack thereof. And I can't tell you how many who are willingly participating. Willingly. Yeah. This stuff is going on, man. It's for real. But my setup and everything, you know, it's all good, man. With what I do out here. I put a lot of work into what I do, people. This is not just me pulling something out of my rear end saying, oh, let me just do this. I don't just come and sit down in front of the camera and decide, oh, I think I'll go live for a couple of hours. I don't do that. I've never done that. Yep. So yeah, we do this annual awards show, man. And like I said before, it's not about being correct, you know, with who you select for different categories. The categories that I have selected are as follows: Fighter of the Year, Trainer of the Year, Knockout of the Year, Round of the Year, Event of the Year, Comeback of the Year, Fight of the Year, and Upset of the Year. So a total of eight categories is what I like to cover with what I do here. And again, it's fun sorting through. Sometimes through the year, and as I'm watching fights and cards, I will make a little note, asterisk. Oh, this is a candidate. But oftentimes I will refer back. I'll just wait till we get toward the end of the fourth quarter of the year and reflect fondly on the entire experience. Some fights I forget. Some, never. My allergies are acting up. Excuse me. Some never leave your mind. And then others still creep up later. It's like, wow, and they get pushed into, what you consider. So it is what it is, man. But it's fun coming up with that. A lot of fun. Royal Constrictor in the building. Adrian Villa says, YouTube been doing everything to make things as inconvenient as possible for creators and watchers. It's whack. Yeah, man. I agree. Imagine if they would just do what they were supposed to do, which is to freely push our content out into the algorithms like they're supposed to, penalize and take down content that is disturbing or in true violation, and support those who are trying to make an overall difference in producing quality. My goodness, what a world we live in, right? Huh? But see, once you got someone in the White House like you got, remember, everything follows that leadership factor. You got something like that is piss poor dirt. Hey, that's what's going to get spread amongst the masses. It is what it is. It is what it is. See, if you guys could see my setup on this end, I've got tablet, laptop, phone, everything, all, I got several devices going like to conduct and produce what you see as a finished result here. A lot of effort goes into that. And it's not as advanced as I would like it to be, is simply because I haven't learned a lot of the things that I need to know to make it even better. But I've come a long way from not knowing anything, huh? It's just like the use of green screen. You see me with faulty green screen? My green screen looks pretty good, doesn't it? I had to learn how to use it properly. I had to learn how to use lighting and all of that. Nobody's going to tell you those things. You have to figure it out sometimes. You'll get some people who will help from time to time. But it is what it is. So, let's start off with my thoughts for round of the year. Now, this is very interesting. Round of the year for 2025. I saw this fight on Pro Box TV, you guys. And it was Yandler Martinez taking on Joshan James. That fight, which saw James win a majority decision. It just took place on the 18th of December. Martinez from Cuba, 27 years of age, with a record of 5-0 with one draw. And James, who came in with a record of 9-1 and 2 draws. Listen, man, these two guys They battled, and James, coming off of a fight against Lester Martinez earlier in the year, it was interesting how this fight played out because they both were popping. They were hitting very hard. Neither man really touted as a knockout puncher. But in the third round of this fight, something historical happened, which immediately put it as my candidate for round of the year. Now, we've had some rounds of the year that were rocking and rolling back and forth where guys were giving as good as they got and, you know, ebb and flow, if that's what you want to call it. We've experienced that. But one thing that we hadn't experienced, guys, cinematically we have, in the movies, In the third round, these two guys both threw right hands. They both landed, and they both went down. It was something like out of a movie. And they both were tagged pretty damn good. It wasn't like a flash knockdown. And I think that James has got there just a hair faster because he had the greater impact on Martinez. But Martinez's punch was so strong because of James's vulnerability and being wide open for the shot, the counter. He went down. Man, let me tell you something. That was something straight out of the cinematic pages of boxing films. It was great. Any of you saw the first Rocky film when Rocky and Apollo hit each other? No, was that the second film? When it was like they went down from a shot. Rocky 2. And the one who got up would win. The second film, yeah, thank you, Universal. But these two guys, they nailed the hell out of each other, man. And let me tell you something. It was excellent. I was like, holy smoke. I watched it again today. I'm like, you know what? That was great stuff, man. They just leapfrogged anyone else that I might have had in consideration for round of the year. How do you top that? So it was amazing. Both landed right hands. Do you know what your timing has to be? What your delivery has to be in order to land the same shot that the opponent is landing on you? That was an amazing feat there, bro. That was amazing. Nefertiti, that's Queen 71. She says, is it possible to show it real quick? Yeah. Hold on a second. Hold on one second. I'm gonna set that up. I actually got it playing on loop right now on my Rumble page, but yeah. Hold on one second. One second. Yeah, let's see here. See if I can pull this up for you guys.
Oh, double knockdown. Wow. I think Martinez more hurt. He is. Joshawn James back to his feet. Whoa. And he is still staggered. Referee's going to check out both of them. I don't know. Martinez looks real Never hurt. Seen that in boxing before in real life.
What is this guy doing? What is this guy doing?
Oh, double knockdown. Wow. I think Martinez more hurt. He is. Joshawn James back to his feet. Whoa. And he is still staggered.
As I line it up for you
Referee's
guys.
going to check out
I can
both
line it
of
up
them.
a little bit better than
I don't
that.
know. Martinez looks real Never hurt. Seen that in boxing before in real
What is
life.
this guy doing? What is this guy doing?
Oh, double knockdown. Wow. I think Martinez more hurt. He is. Joshawn James back to his feet. Whoa. And he is still staggered. Referee's going to check out both of them.
See how I line it up for you
Never
guys?
seen that in boxing before in real
What is
life.
this guy doing? What is this guy doing?
Oh, double knockdown. Wow. I think Martinez more hurt. He is. Joshawn James back to his feet. Whoa. And he is still staggered.
Man, let me tell you something.
Referee's going to check out both of them. I don't know. Martinez looks real Never hurt. Seen that before.
They both cracked the hell out of each other.
What is this guy doing?
Oh, double knockdown. Wow. I think Martinez more hurt. He is. Joshawn James back to his feet. Whoa. And he is still staggered. Referee's going to check out both of them. I don't know. Martinez looks real Never hurt. Seen that in boxing before in real life.
What is this guy doing? What is this guy doing?
You catch that, Queen? Whoa, that was amazing. You usually see something like that in a movie, man, not in the real fight. That sucker happened on live TV. Everybody was like, oh! It was great, man. It was great. So that's my round of the year award right there, going to Joshawn James and Yoleni Martinez. Those two guys, my goodness, man. And the whole fight was pretty much like that, with the exception of them going down every time. But Martinez did go down and touch the canvas one time, and they didn't rule it a knockdown. But they were rocking and rolling in that. And guess what Joshawn James said? He wants Lester Martinez again. He just fought him before this fight earlier this year and lost. He says he wants his rematch because Martinez stopped him, knocked him out. Yeah. That boy said he want all the smoke, huh? Man. Sometimes you know, all you gotta do is just sit back and watch some boxing, man. You'll see some stuff. You'll be like, man, what's going on here? So my next event category is for event of the year. Now, it could have easily been the New York event where it was the Ring Chaos card where it featured Teofimo, Ryan Garcia, and Devin Haney in a triple header in Times Square. And because it was out in the public, they stopped traffic and rerouted people from their normal everyday lives in New York. I don't know what that was like. Drew Titan is there, so he could tell you about it. But it was an event, the way they decided to do it and hold it out in the public and everything, and in the middle of Times Square. However, the true event of the year was, in my opinion, the fight card. Let me see if I could pull the proper date up on this. Because I like to, be correct when I say certain things. Earlier this year, Saturday, April 26th, from Tottenham in London, when Chris Eubank Jr. took on Conor Benn. To me, that was the event of the year. With all the drama and stuff that went on behind these two men coming together for this first fight, the byline stories, their dads having been rivals, the equivalent of Ali Frazier for the UK, with Chris Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn. All of that was something else. Then Conor Benn popped dirty for banned substances. There was a ban, a suspension. Though they tried to say that screaming his innocence from the rafters, Ed Hearn has been known to do that, to go to bat for his fighters. If you're not one of his fighters, you have no Then came the press conferences when the fight was actually going to happen. And at the press conference, you saw Chris Eubank Jr. shut Eddie Hearn's mouth with some of his speaking against why promoters shouldn't be allowed to talk and everything. And because of his regal demeanor and his manner of articulating, Eubank Jr. came across quite heroic against the promoter. And people kind of liked it. The promoters didn't like it, as he fearlessly called them scumbags and said that nobody attends press conferences to see them talk. And then came the most famous incident leading up to the fight, the egg slap. Eubank Jr. with his Gucci attire on somewhere had an egg hidden in his jacket. And when they came together for the press conference, he slapped Ben with the egg upside his face. Now, that was a double entendre. Let me tell you why. When Conor Ben popped dirty, one of the excuses that he gave was that he had had too many eggs. So Eubank Jr. says, here go one more. Boy, Ben was hot. That boy was hotter than the M80 on the 4th of July. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's my event of the year. But it didn't end there. When they had the ring walks, okay? Both guys came out to music they selected and everything. But it was the appearance of Chris Eubank Jr.'s dad, Sr., who showed up in the escort ride to the stadium and stepped out in front of the cameras. But nobody had expected him to be there because he had talked down against the fight, the promotion, his fighter being his son, facing these circumstances. He was not in support of this at all. But in the 11th hour, he reached out to his son and told him he wanted to be there for him. That was the stuff of movies, guys, and it was so dramatic, and it happened and aired live on television. We didn't even know it was going to happen. So when that escort ride doors opened, and he was sitting right there, and the cameras caught him, and he come out with that big smile he has, the whole audience just erupted, man. They erupted. It was one of those moments that you had to be there to experience it. And then when his ring walk took place, Junior played his dad's theme music, which was Tina Turner's Simply the Best. And he walked out to a portion of that, and then he switched up to his theme music, which is Dre Day. And the audience just totally lost. That was amazing. Great stuff. Somebody telling me to raise my bit rate. See that? Raise it. After giving me itch over what I had. These people are something else, man. So I raised the bit rate back up. See, they be playing with me, man. That's all them. It's not me. Joe Gagliardi, what's going on? So yeah, that was my event of the year. Eubank Jr. versus Ben 1. The second fight didn't live up to the drama, the action, the bylines, or anything. In fact, Eubank Jr. should not have taken that second fight. He fell apart in the later portions of the fight. He was dead at the weight. He was totally dead. That's why he was inactive and everything during the bout. And Ben, who can't box worth to save himself, but he was younger and more active and was able to get the decision, dropping Eubank Jr. in the late rounds. You know, very unfortunate for Eubank Jr., who should have taken a title fight opportunity against Canelo. They did offer him the opportunity. Just hard-headed. And he suffered as a result in that rematch. Salute to the brother, the general. 78 Sports TV in the building. What's happening with you, General? What's happening, bro? It's my end of the year awards show. Yeah. Just covered the event of the year being Eubank Jr. and Ben 1. That was my event of the year. As we move forward, want to talk about the comeback of the year. Now that right there, the comeback of the year, is interesting because my candidate for this has appeared in another category on here, just like one other fighter is in 2 categories on my list. But it's fitting if you pay attention to how I break it down and explain why he was selected for comeback of the year. Yeah, that's right, Queen 71. That's what I see. That's what I say. This particular candidate for this award is now 30 years of age. And though he only has 1 loss on his record, people have kind of written him off due to his inactivity, because we hadn't seen him since June of 2024 when he was stopped. Okay? But as we began to hear of him returning to the ring, we also heard of him returning at a higher weight. He was moving up from 135 to 140. And I'm talking about from Detroit, Michigan, Frank the Ghost Martin. Yeah. Frank returned to the ring against Francis Bartholomew this month on the 6th of December. And though we welcomed him with open arms, we had wanted Frank to come back to boxing because not only is he a well-liked young man, he's a good fighter. Frank Martin is a good fighter, you guys. Was he drained against Tank? It's a possibility. But taking on the likes of Francis Bartholomew, a Cuban fighter who is now 40 years of age, but only 2 losses on his record. 3 losses on his record now. He's a tall, rangy guy with a 72.5-inch reach at 5'10" at junior welter. That's pretty strong dimensions there to have to try to overcome. You know, it's good to know certain things about fighters, and the Cubans have been known to be boxers. And Francis, who comes in with that crazy hair color and everything, out of Havana, Cuba, he's been in with some quality people. He fought Jose Carlos Ramirez last year in April, lost a unanimous decision to him. He was stopped in the 6th round by Gary Anton Russell in July of 2022. So that Ramirez fight being a year almost to the date that Frank was in the ring, the timing lined up for these 2 guys. But what we wanted to see was a great performance by Frank Martin. And what we didn't know was that we would see Frank Martin not only stop Francis, but it was in the fashion of which he did so. Frank was boxing, he was light on his feet, he was moving, he was shifting his weight, he was doing the things that we had seen him do so many other times, like when he defeated Michel Rivera. he looked like that again. And then in the 4th round, he dropped Rancis, who got up a little quick and was like, okay, I'm good, I'm good. And then when the battle resumed, he unleashed a devastating 1-2 from the southpaw side, of which he fights. And down goes Bartholomew, totally KO'd. This was not a TKO. When he went down, the ref didn't even have to count. Nobody saw that coming from Frank Martin. Nobody. If you are a Frank Martin supporter, which is nothing wrong with that at all, you cannot tell me that you were expecting him to stop Rancis Bartholomew the way he did. He showed power, he showed speed, he showed quickness, alertness, and he looked pretty damn good. So I gave him comeback of the year, because that's a hell of a way to make a splash back into the sport of boxing after being off for a year, having been stopped in your last fight, and moving up to a new weight class against a veteran fighter. Here they go messing with my audio again. This is freaking ridiculous. But I'm not stopping. I'm keeping going, full speed ahead. So Frank Martin gets my consideration for comeback of the year, comeback fight of the year. Great stuff, Frank. Great stuff. So yeah, there you have it with that, because Frank did something that nobody had expected him to do. That was awesome. And the way he KO'd Rancis, he could even be a candidate for knockout of the year. But that's not what I had him for in the other category. We'll get to that in just a moment. So, the next category I have is upset of the year. Now this one, listen. This is a fight that a lot of you guys didn't watch. And what does Stormy always say? Watch boxing. Now, this right here is one of the major reasons why I tell you guys to watch the sport. This upset. Now, some of you, like I said, didn't watch this fight. Some of you went back after it was reported on and everything. But to catch it live like I did and everything, this was an amazing experience because out of the UK are coming good fighters, but even more coming out of the UK are great fights. Because these men over there, they're not afraid to get in the ring with one another. They could be of the same age, out of the same gym, come up through the same neighborhood and experience, and they fight each other. Unlike Americans, some of them are tremendously familiar with one another. Best buddies they could be. So when these two super middleweights came together this month, again, a lot of what's been based, I'm glad I waited to the end of the year to see these matchups because they are proving my point over and again. Callum Simpson taking on Troy Williamson. Two men in the super middleweight division meeting up. And Callum Simpson is a fighter that they had been marketing and hoping to bring along so he could get into world contention. In this fight, he brought the BBBFC British super middleweight title, the Commonwealth Boxing Council super middleweight title, and the EBU European super middleweight titles. So basically, that region, he was the man ready to take the next step to challenge for a world title. Now, Troy Williamson had been dabbling down at 160 and fighting a little bit over 160. So he moved up to super middleweight, and at the age of 34, the Trojan, as he is known, who had 3 losses in a row to Kalman Aryako back in December of 2023, Ishmael Davis in March of 2024, and Jahai Tucker in April of 2025, earlier this year. 3 of those losses back to back to back, all decision losses, saw him battling at from 153 to 160 against Jahai Tucker. He said he needed to move up. So his last fight prior to this Callum Simpson fight was against Mark Dickinson, and he fought at super middleweight, and he got a 9th round stoppage over Dickinson. So going in against Callum Simpson, who was favored, but Williamson had what was called the proverbial puncher's chance because he can crack a little bit. 22 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 16 KOs. Going in against Simpson, who was bringing his record of 18 wins, no losses, 13 KOs. But he looked a little bit shaky in a fight against Ivan Zucco because he was down in the 1st and the 3rd round against Zucco, but had Zucco down 3 times in the 10th round before stopping him. So Simpson has shown guts. He has shown that he could come back from adversity. So going into this fight against Williamson, he was being touted as a guy that's ready to take that next step to world class. Troy Williamson said, "Hold my fish and chips." In a fight that saw Simpson leading on all judges' scorecards, Williamson stopped Callum Simpson in the 10th round of a scheduled 12-rounder at the 2-minute 21-second mark, he had Simpson down 4 times in the 10th round, people. 4 times. If that ain't going for it, I don't know what is. And rightfully, he won a fight by pulling out the victory. That was my upset of the year. I sat there watching this fight live, people. I was like, whoa, whoa! I'm like, Simpson was on his way. And when I did my post-fight, I talked about that referee, Lee Every, trying to give Simpson a chance. The first couple of times he went down, he was like talking to him like, you good? You good? I'm like, count, ref, what you doing? You're supposed to be counting, not asking him what his name is. Count. That ref must have had something on Simpson. But Williamson was like, you can bring your whole family in here. They ain't stopping me from whooping your ass. Boy, he knocked that sucker down 4 times in that 10th round. In other words, that was a grand slam walk-off home run. in baseball terms. Man, that's my boy. You know what I mean? Troy Williamson. He said, I ain't gonna be denied. Damn that. That brother took fate in his own hands and said, y'all judges, take this knockout and stick it up your ass. Because listen, guys, I'm going to tell you, this is what the scorecards read at the time of the stoppage. The judges had it 87-84, 88-84, and 86-85, all in favor of Simpson. They didn't see that eraser that Williamson came into the ring with and had in his little bag under his robe. He erased all that shit. Put them damn faulty scorecards away. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. Don't we be trying to ask these American fighters to do stuff like that? We be like, man, you got to go for it. And then what they do when the decision go the other way? I was robbed. I was robbed. And they fans, he was robbed. He was robbed. This is ridiculous in boxing. It's got to stop. I'm like, he didn't even go for a knockout. What are you talking about? Go back and watch the fight. When you see Williamson get Simpson in trouble, he like, oh, I got your ass now, sucker. You can't run. Man, I'm going to tell you something. That was some nasty work by Williamson, bro. Oh, I forgot to put his damn name up on the screen. Forgive me, guys. I forgot to put his name up there on the trophy. That's my upset of the year. Troy Williamson over Callum Simpson, man. What a fight, man. What a way to pull it out at the end and to get your victory, man. Get your money. Even the announcers was like, oh, I'm so proud of Troy Williamson. Because they was like thinking Callum was going to come away with the victory, right? They was like, oh. Nah, they saw that upset. They was like, whoa. They couldn't say nothing. They was like, Callum didn't do it. Four times he put that dude down. That's 4 points in one round, huh? So the judges' scorecards would have looked real shaky if it had gone to the distance. How you going to eliminate that man's four points, huh? In one round? No, stoppage is what was the make of order, huh? Yeah, stoppage. So that was great. I loved it. It was a shot in the arm for the sport of boxing. I talk about this all the time. This is why I be telling you guys, watch the fights. Oh, those DAZN fights. Oh, those, watch the damn fights, people. You're going to learn some shit. I ain't talking about watch all the pay-per-views because people don't have money like that. And I understand that. But if it's just on you subscribe to it and you got the network, watch the damn fights. You're gonna see some stuff. Tay, what's good with you? I see you out there, Columbia in the building. Hen Dog, Blaze, pound for pound. I see all you guys out there. So let's move on to knockout of the year. Now, I had said that Frank Martin appeared on here twice. I put Frank Martin in the knockout of the year, y'all. His knockout victory over Francis Bartholomew was an unexpected situation. People thought he could outbox Francis and, get that win. But to come back from a knockout defeat himself in his first fight back at a higher weight against a veteran Cuban fighter. You don't knock the Cubans out easily, people. You do not. Frank Martin knocked out Francis Bartholomew, guys. Francis was out cold. The ref didn't even need to count. He just waved the fight off. 4 rounds. 4. They had been off about the same amount of time. Frank fought Tank in June of last year, and Francis fought in July of last year. That reminds me of when, what's his name? Kid Austin knocked out Tevin Farmer. Nobody expected that, right? Which was another great knockout of the year. But Farmer had 2 tough fights with Zepeda. You don't know what that took out of him. But we are talking about a really quality fighter in Francis at 140, a weight class that Frank had never fought at professionally. Hen Dog, we know that we're going through it, man. We're dealing with it. It's in and out. YouTube is messing with me. time, try to listen to what I'm saying. I know what's happening. Everybody that's been here already know what's happening. This is their way of messing with me. Listen. Frank deserves his flowers, people. Remember how people downed him when he lost the tank? People were at him. They would talk about he wasn't this and he ain't that and all of that kind of stuff. Do you think the tank would have fought Francis Bartholomew? A Cuban fighter like that? Tall, 5'10", you think? Boxing like that? I don't think so. And most of all, Frank said he wanted any and everybody at 140. Whoever. That's good stuff. So salute to that brother for his efforts. And I can't wait to see him again. Hopefully he can fight with us once in 2026. Now, my next award is for Fight of the Year. Now, this one will surprise you, probably. Maybe it'll surprise you, maybe not. But, given everything that has gone on, given the stakes, given the efforts of the combatants, the two fighters came together in a fight where both of them bring 5-star ratings to the ring. Of course, I don't rate them both 5-star. However, with such sentiment going into the fight that there were improbabilities and impossibilities and things of that nature, September 13th, 2025.
Are you ready to feel the Mexican power, Terrence?
Oh, yeah. Yeah! Terrence Bud Crawford whoops Saul Canelo Alvarez's ass and made it look easy. Yeah. Listen, man. Terrence put on a fucking clinic, you hear me? Especially coming out of his performance against Madrimov. Because you know what people were saying. Oh, he couldn't deal with Madrimov. Oh, he gonna have trouble with Canelo. Oh, and what was his name? The trainer. Can't think of his name. One of y'all might know his name in the chat. There are people that think that Crawford has a chance. I think they're stupid. Yeah. You're stupid because you can see that one guy is a complete fighter, can do everything. He can punch, he can move, he can defend, he can make adjustments, he can switch southpaw and orthodox. He has 40 fights under his belt. He is a 4-division champion. The stakes were never higher in any of those other fights that you guys are mentioning. The stakes were never higher in any of those other fights that you guys are mentioning. Pride, dignity, the very virtues and qualities and ethics that withstand the test of time were all enrolled and engulfed in this situation. And Terrence understood the lesson. He understood it. And he gained every freaking bit of glory off of his success. Just because many thought he couldn't do it. But you forget about he'd been kept on the outside for years against other men who were right there where he was, and he wasn't given the opportunity. Jamel Charlo denied him the opportunity to fight for the junior middleweight undisputed title by moving up to fight Canelo and getting his ass trounced by Canelo, and selling everything that he had acquired at that point. And guess what? Where the fuck is he right now? You can run, Joe Louis once was known to say, but you cannot hide. And against Canelo Alvarez, Bud Crawford didn't run. He stood his ground. He whooped his ass. He had that man befuddled. Post-fight knots and hickeys all up on side of his head. And Bud looked like he hadn't even fought. Blaze pound for pound. Bud was a legend before the fight. Y'all just wouldn't give it to him. But he didn't need you to give it to him. He took everything that he earned in his career. He took it. He wasn't given a damn thing. And I told people over 10 years ago, when I saw that little black man, and I said, that's a hell of a fighter right there. He reminds me of somebody, but I'm going to tell you something. He's special. Curtis Anderson, a.k.a. Kurt Sugar, my brother from the Three Wise Men, Scrapbook Boxing, same. We talked about it on the air. We said that this guy is a throwback, and he's a lot better than people are giving him credit for. But the ultimate respect was they wouldn't fight him. They wouldn't give him his shot. Oh, he's with Bob Arum, top rank, whatever Bob orders. When they talked about the other guys on television, they wouldn't even mention the WBO title, but he was the WBO champion on a string and succession of knockouts that the other guys, his contemporaries, weren't even doing. I told Blu-ray several years ago on Drew Titan's channel to his face that Bud was going to stop Errol. He was like, "You crazy." I told him, I said, "Hey, this is not a thing of me waving pom-poms for the guys because there's plenty of that kind of foolishness out there, but Stormy B-Man don't wave pom-poms, people. Stormy B-Man is a critical thinker and absorbed in knowledge of boxing, the sweet science. I can break fights down with my eyes closed, but my mind is always open, unlike some of you. I told him, I said, go to my channel, watch my content. You'll see what I'm saying to you. He subscribed. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. This is why they fuck with my channel. Because I give it to you raw and real. No glazing here. No powdering and pampering asses here. My fight of the year, Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford, with such high stakes and such written improbabilities that Terrence Bud Crawford not only exceeded, but upon doing all of that, he decided, my work is done. Mic drop. Yeah. High stakes. Stakes of the highest order. Yeah. Some people will never get it. Some people, it'll occur to them a few years from now. But boy, if you were along for the ride, the sweet savor of success is what it's all about at the end of the day. Yeah. Yep. Now, my trainer of the year, we're down to the last two awards. My trainer of the year is the man that has not received his just due in the sport of boxing. People have seen him be very successful in his main charges corner for his entire career, as well as working with others, even if they are from foreign soil. He has a current fighter right now that is primed for an opportunity at a world title. And with a tweak here and there, he very well may win one. This trainer has a lot of knowledge, but he is not afraid to work in tandem and have his own team. So my Trainer of the Year award goes to Brian Bomack McIntyre. Yes, out of Omaha, Nebraska. The man who had guided Terrence Bud Crawford his entire career. Absolutely. This is quality. And the work that he's doing with Lester Martinez right now shows us more. And then he has yet and still other fighters in the stable that are coming right along. The B&B Gym out of Omaha, that is a place where young fighters should definitely look into, because you can get some knowledge there. And you may even run into Bud, who hangs around to pass on knowledge. Hen Dog, I don't need you to continue to remind me about the skipping. All of us are aware of it, and I have my earpiece in my ear. Please, if it's too much for you, man, come back another time. Huh? But I'm trying to focus here. You see, I haven't stopped my show. I keep my show going, bro. This is what I mean when I be telling people to focus up. The seas will always get rough, but you have to weather the storm. It's a distraction. Yet I'm focused. I've been on here for 1 hour and 43 minutes. It's been in and out the entire damn time. But it hasn't stopped me. Because I have purpose here. Dutiful purpose. Explain to me, somebody, why I can have over 130 fucking views to this channel on this live stream. $34 likes. 34 fucking likes. That's that same ratio that I talk about. 2 million views, but 6,000 subs. This is YouTube. It ain't me. But you can get distracted by some choppiness in my audio? You guys are going to sit up and listen to people cuss and swear at them for fucking hours with little to no articulated thought process. Go through with what they're doing. Brian Bomack McIntyre is a hell of a trainer. And I thought that he could make a difference in Chris Eubank Jr.'s rematch against Conor Benn. But it turns out that he was not why Conor Benn won or lost in the first fight, won in the second fight. It comes down to Eubank Jr. Dedication is something serious. And he doesn't have enough of the proper focus, Eubank Jr., to take the optimum of what a trainer and coach like Bomac has to offer. But all you have to do is be an empty vessel and allow him to fill your cup with the proper drink, and you will flow like currency. So yeah, it is what it is. But that's my coach and trainer of the year. An easy selection, because not only has he been through the time in the trenches, but he has a fighter that is a 3-division undisputed champion. In the 4-belt era, the first and only one to accomplish such. He must be doing something right. Yes, without question. So that brings me to my last category for Fighter of the Year, which was an easy selection to make. Because you can't have Trainer of the Year without him having Fighter of the Year. And that award goes to Terrence Bud Crawford. Simply the best of his era. Pound for pound, as he has been since Andre Ward retired. They've always tried to put someone else ahead of him, to knock him down a peg or whatever. But all of those guys have come and gone. Lomachenko, Inoue, Canelo, Chocolatito, Triple G. Where are those guys now? Inoue's still fighting. He just fought today. But he also has said that he's not moving up past the weight class of where he's currently fighting. So the buck stops there for him. So he'll be limited. Bud challenged himself. He started out at what, 130, 135, and went all the way up to 168. Last time I checked, someone by the name of Roberto Duran did something similar. And he's in the history books as well. That might be a name that you may be familiar with. So Terrence Bud Crawford has joined immense company in being something of a special fighter for today. And though many of you out there may be still panties in a bunch because he beat some of your favorite fighters, sad for you that you won't allow yourself to enjoy the magnificence of a great fighter of this modern era, whose feats and accomplishments will no time soon be duplicated, because a lot of the fighters of today just don't have it in them to compete like that. You just heard me mention earlier in this broadcast that fighters over in the UK are taking it to the max with challenges against one another, even if they happen to be friends. And you have guys here who are running away from challenges as well as friends that they depart from. How could you ever accrue any type of respect in a fight where it's a lone man position that is the wearer and burden bearer of a crown? You're in the wrong sport. But when you have a fighter like Terrence Bud Crawford, you have something to look forward to and look to the heavens to, because he set those goals high, and it's always going to be something to reach for. Yeah. Some of you may know this, some of you may not even give a damn. But as I said, that's the difference between being of elevated thought process and sewer level existence. Ridiculous. This is Stormy B. Man. Shout out to Mighty LDBC. Peace to everybody out there. Enjoy the rest